Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing my June wrap up and July TBR. I just kind of want to remind you guys that I did say I was really bad at sticking to TBRs, and I for some reason set myself an incredibly optimistic TBR for June, knowing that I was moving and working more shifts. So I read a pitiful total of 3 books this month. So the first book that I read this month was Daphne du Maurier's Britannia. So I mentioned that I really wanted to get back into some more Daphne du Maurier, and this is the book that I decided to pick up first. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was hilarious. It's kind of like a parody book in a way. It was Daphne du Maurier pushing as many comical boundaries as she could on serious topics. It follows the events after the UK voted to leave the EU, which is really funny actually, considering that we have just voted to leave the EU. To be honest, I am absolutely devastated by. So I thought it was really funny actually when I picked this up, and within a few pages she was describing how the country basically goes to crap after the decision that the country made. It was a really interesting book. The characters that are explored in this novel are hilarious. There is this elderly retired actress who kind of adopts all these boys, and they are just brought up in their imagination, and it's kind of all like a game to them. It is hilarious, and it kind of follows their struggles and their plotting against the government. It's just a nice light-hearted read, and it's only short as well, so I would definitely recommend this. The next book that I picked up this month, which as well was on my TBR, was The Dream Feeds by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the second instalment in the Raven Cycle Quartet. I really enjoyed this book. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first book. I will leave the link as well to my review. I thought it was a really interesting story. I love the ideas that she explores in this novel. It kind of questions dreams and reality and kind of converges them. I like to see how the character relationships are evolving. It's not very quick paced. It's a really nice follow-on from the introductory novel to the series, and I'm really excited to see how it escalates in the third book. I'm expecting a lot more action. I'm very excited to see how the relationships with Blue kind of progress in the next novel and then kind of lead up to the final act that we glimpsed in the first book. So this book was very much anticipated across the YouTube community and a lot of social media. I'm very happy that it's finally come out as well. It was a really nice introduction to this new saga that has been released. Zenith is part 1 of the Andromeda saga. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I think short, quick thing to get through. It was a nice introduction to the characters. It was written by Sasha, Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings, who are both on YouTube, so I will link them down below as well, and because they do talk about the book a lot and it's nice to get inside their heads a little bit more. And yeah, it was very much anticipated by the YouTube community, so if anyone else has read it, I kind of like to know what you thought of it. So moving on to my TBR, which to be honest I have no idea why I'm doing it because I probably won't stick to it. But I will talk about some of the books that I do really need to and want to get through this month. So it is that time of year where I need to start reading for my final year at university, and 2 of the books on my reading list for this coming term I have actually read before. They will be a reread for me, but I am still really excited to read them because they are 2 of my favourite books in the entire world, and I'm really glad that I get to study them again. First book is Dracula by Bram Stoker. It's an incredible story. I think it's so beautifully written. I think a lot of people kind of brush over the classic vampire stories now because of how modernised they've become. I really cannot wait to get back into the world of Bram Stoker. The next book that I'm going to read this month for uni is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, one of the most fantastic, well-written English novels. I think actually this was my mum's book from when she was in school. I've had it since she gave it to me when I was younger, and I used it throughout college when I was studying it in college. I haven't had a chance to study it at university yet, so I'm really excited to kind of get back into it, and I still have all my old notes, so this is going to come in very handy when I need to decide what I'm writing my essay on. There are so many notes in here. So there are so many shifting narratives as well. It's so incredibly written. There is Lockwood, who is one of the narrators, then it goes on to Nellie, and then it goes into other people's perspectives like Heathcliff and Kathy, and kind of their voices and their reiterations of different things that have happened. So it's a really interesting story, and I think it's one of those groundbreaking narratives that were written in this period of history, and I'm so excited that I get to study this alongside other Gothic novels this year. Probably should have started this TBR with the book that I'm actually currently reading, but here we go anyway. That is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. I was really, really intrigued about this book when I first heard about it, and I'm even more intrigued after reading the first few pages. I haven't got very far into it, to be honest, because I've just been struggling to unpack all my stuff. I think it kind of takes on the Victorian era, so it takes on the style of writing of some of the most famous Victorian British writers that were around in that time. So I'm really, really excited to see how Sarah Perry kind of incorporates that writing style and the societal structure of that period into this Gothic tale. I think it's very much a mystery novel and a Gothic monster kind of novel. I don't know much about it, even having read the blurb, but from reading the review that I mentioned in my previous video, I'm very excited to see how the novel is put together and how the characters are built as well. Yeah, that's going to be a very, very good read for me, especially going into another Gothic module at university. I just had the confirmation email that my Fairy Elite box has been shipped and will probably have arrived by the time that you are watching this video. So I really, really need to move on and get through Ivory and Bone so that I can review this before the next box arrives and I do my unboxing. So like I said, it came in the June Fairy Elite box, and I will link that unboxing as well down below if you do want to watch that and see what else I got with the book. It's a prehistoric tale of families at war, and there is relationships as well, and secrets and mystery. So I'm very intrigued by this book. It is a YA novel. I am really excited to see how those allusions are worked into the novel and how the characters are portrayed and similar to those that they have been compared to. Another book that I want to read this month is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, which is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, which I absolutely adored. I reviewed the first book as well recently, so if you want, I will link that down below as well. I absolutely adore the world that Laini Taylor has posed here, and I am really, really excited to carry on with the trilogy. I'm very annoyed that I haven't been able to read the next book yet, but I will try and jump on it as soon as possible. I am very excited to see how the characters progress and how that relationship evolves, and kind of like all the trauma that has happened, how that is used to influence the decisions that the characters make in this book. I'm really interested to see what else Laini Taylor has to offer. I will hopefully finish this trilogy before Strange the Dreamer comes out as well, because I am absolutely going to be buying that book. And finally, and very quickly, I mentioned in my book haul video that I have recently bought Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which is the first in a 7-book series. I am finally delving into the world of Hogwarts, and I'm really, really excited to see how I react to this series, especially being nearly 20 years old. I know it's not the same as when I was a child and the Harry Potter movies came out, but I'm really excited to see how maybe that my opinions of the films influence my reading of the books. So that is all for my June wrap-up and July TBR. I know my June wrap-up is so disappointing. You will soon have more reviews as well, and I have been squinting for the majority of this video because of how bright it is outside. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you soon for a new video.